Hello there, welcome to my humble little channel. My name is Adam Weir. Now, if you do not know, I suffered from psychosis. I was hearing things, I was seeing things, it was an absolute disaster. And part of that illness, what really drove me to going insane was believing that I was God. Now, believing that I was God wasn't just like a surface level belief. I didn't just believe it for no reason. I believed it because of things I hallucinated online and just looking deep within myself through meditation and journaling. I I came to that, like, I don't want to say realization because I'm not God. Well, I'll get onto that in a minute. I came to the false conclusion that I was God, the Father Almighty, the one, the being, the one that created the universe, and it was so strange because when I was in hospital, I was trying to get that out. I was trying to explain to people why I believed that I was God, and of course, I was grounded in reality with logical thoughts like, Adam, you can't be God because if you're a God, then why are you a human being? So ever since hospital, I've still had this looming thought, I am God. It appears in my mind on a daily basis, and instead of pushing that thought away like I was trying to do, I was trying to ignore it and try and just get it out my head because I know it's not true. Instead of running away from that thought, I've learned to embrace it and give it more meaning. So when I say I'm God, I'm not saying I'm God the Father Almighty. I'm saying I am God as in I am an expression of the universe. I personally don't believe God is a man in the heavens that oversees the universe. I believe that we as human beings and animals and plants and every sentient being is God, an expression of God, God in disguise. We as divine beings were hiding from ourselves. Because before, this is just my belief, right? Because I believe that everyone has their own unique reality because some people experience ghosts. Some people have say they have past life experiences. People claim that they've explored like higher dimensions. So, from my understanding, we all have our own universe, if you like. And in my little quirky universe, I believe that before we incarnated as a human being, we were one with God. We had that infinite oneness with it. We had every conceivable pleasure, and that got a little bit boring, so we decided to incarnate as a finite being, in this case, a human being. That's what I decided to incarnate as. So did you. I'm assuming you're a human being if you're watching this. So I've learned to embrace that thought instead of trying to push it away and just delete it from my brain. I've learned to actually give it a meaning and make sense of it and embrace that I am a divine being. But I'm not just me. I'm not a special human being. Well, I do believe all of us have a special purpose and unique expression to share with the universe. You are God too. You are an expression of God. You are a physical incarnation of God. And if you really want to live up to that excuse me, that higher meaning, that higher purpose, you need to, well, first of all, find your purpose. I found my purpose through just existing, meditating, and just listening to my thoughts and making sense of them. So when you tell yourself that, you're not a special individual, you're sort of programming your mind to just be a sheep and just live life on autopilot. But if you can wake up from that reality and realize there is a divine spark within you, and that you were once, excuse me, you were once all powerful in a sense. You were with God. You were part of God at one point, and then you chose to incarnate as a finite being. So, but so it's like you hear people say that heaven isn't a place in the sky, hell isn't a place in the underworld. It's a state of mind, and I think I agree with that. I do believe in an afterlife. I believe our afterlife will be whatever we want it to be, assuming that we're worthy of it. If you're a bad person in this human form, you're going to have a bad afterlife. Maybe not necessarily hell, but a place where you'll be forced to face your demons and become a better soul so that you can transcend to heaven. See, I'm doing this because I don't want to call it heaven, because It's not a place that's definitive. It's your own choice. You choose where you go when you die. In a way, see, I'm not going to try to explain it because I don't fully understand it myself yet. No one knows what happens after death. People claim to know, and that's great. If people have been shown that vision of the afterlife, brilliant. But in my reality, I believe that heaven is a state of mind, hell is a state of mind, and whatever you radiate out into this world, it will come back to you, and you will go to that energy that you are. So be the change you want to see in the world, and you will have most likely have a meaningful afterlife. So, in conclusion, you are a divine being. God isn't a man in the sky that oversees the universe. You are the physical expression of God. From my understanding, that theory, that perspective may change. That belief might change in me because I change constantly. My beliefs shift all the time because I just constantly think about these things and I meditate on them. So embrace your divine nature and do what's best for your soul. I don't think there's anything else for me to say other than I still have the thought I am God, but I've learned to give it meaning and allow it to drive me to be a better human being. And it's not blasphemous if you don't put yourself on a pedestal, because I tried to do that and it caused some weird fluctuations and glitches within the universe I won't get into because it's too deep and too complicated. But recognize your divine nature, have Christ consciousness. Jesus, he knew he was God. He knew it, and he tried to tell other people that, and they tortured him for it. We live in a time where we can have our own beliefs and say whatever we want. Well, not necessarily say whatever we want, but you know what I mean. There's more freedom of speech. You're not going to get crucified for having a specific belief. So, you are God, not in a supreme way. You're not above anyone, but you are the physical expression of love. Of course, if you choose that. I try to be as loving as I can, and I recommend you do the same. Try do what Jesus would do. Be a loving, kind, caring, forgiving human being, and the world will react nicely to that, and you'll be given probably a better afterlife from my understanding. I don't want to say I know what the afterlife is because I don't. But yeah, I think I've made my point. I'm going to make more videos talking about it. Go in more depth. But yeah, that's all I have. Stop getting high on YouTube and start getting high on life. May the universe guide you.